I ain't even sitting down anymore. I'm gonna stand up because I can't sit down and have any peace until there's no more problems. All you can eat Chelsea's back, people. The 197th episode. We are closing in on 200 very, very quickly. And hopefully by the time we get there, we know what winning feels like again. Welcome back to the channel. Big up your damn selves. Make sure you smash up the like, subscribe. We're here with the cast and crew. Miz, Younes, Javon, no Baba here today. He's out with an injury, but he will be back hopefully for the game coming up.
Rehabilitation program. Have we seen any Instagram story from Baba saying, I don't know what Matisse is saying. I don't know what he said. I'm back. I'll be back.
Nah, he's out with surgery, guys. He's out for the end of the season now, imagine. There's many places we could start. There's a lot going on. There's transfer news, which I haven't addressed on my channel, which I can't wait to sink my teeth into. There is analysis, something like that from the games. 4 games without a win. And there's probably even everything in between, but we are going to get straight into it. Miz, brother, start with you. How are you feeling? How are you doing? No wins in 4.
Yeah, bro. Not the greatest feeling. A little bit on the edge. It'll be very interesting what happens in the next Premier League game. But yeah, I'm on the edge, Matisse. This episode comes timely because I'm about to release some tension from my shoulders, and hopefully I get a little bit of peace after this episode. So,
Don't say anything wild, please.
Yeah, please.
No wild. Wild only comes out when we're in a winning streak. Today is different.
Today is very calm. Younes, brother, how are we feeling? How are we doing today, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. Overall, I mean, yeah, I'm good, but yeah, we're not. And yeah, no wins in 4. I don't like it. I said I don't want to go back there. And I don't like where it's heading. So no, we got tons to dissect. And I don't want to keep saying must win, but it's evident now, like we must pick up a win. So hopefully it comes. But I'm sure we're gonna get into a lot today. So I'm looking forward to it.
Javon, brother, spoke on Saturday night. We heard a lot. Said a lot. How are we feeling now?
Listen, I'm honestly, overall, I'm chilling. I'm still happy to be in the top 4, but you know my stance on that. I always want to be comfortably in the top 4, not hanging on by a third, because I think this team is better than that. But we'll leave it for the discussion. It's not like Saturday when everyone's heated. We can have a calm discussion after a few replays and a few updates from the team. So ready to get into it.
Let's start with the performances because that is most important. Transfer news is secondary, and especially when it's not confirmed. That Palace game was the definition of what Chelsea can be at times, which is a very good team on eye, a very good performance, very, very good to watch in the first half. Loads of chances created, but unfortunately, not clinical. Not enough pure ball strikers in this team. That's what I'm learning as the season goes on. I mean, most already knew it, but I like to give these players a chance. Neto's, Sancho's, but it's very obvious. Pure ball strikers we lack. Pure, clean, foot through the ball, power, accuracy, curlers, distance, everything. Even free kicks. We don't have it. It all started very well with Sancho and Palmer, and it all ended very poorly with Eze and Mateta. And we're here to talk about everything in between, everything that really has to be addressed. There's a lot of questions about manager trusting, certain individuals. There was a few changes that I was happy to see. Big up to Josh Achimpong, made his first start. Big up to Mark Gu, who managed to get ahead of Nkunku in the pecking order and come off the bench, no matter how little time was left on the clock. But also, some unused subs and some players that I don't really know what their future really lies. Miz, now that everything's all settled and everything's all done and dusted on that one, what are you pulling out of that game and extracting?
Do you know what? After 24 to 48 hours later, I was sort of thinking, we looked at the Everton game and we were like, luck wasn't favoring us, or maybe luck did favor us and we got away without a loss there. It was a good, solid point. Then we looked at the Fulham game and we thought, do you know what? Okay, fine. Unlucky on the day. Unlucky. It can happen. Team's been doing all right. A loss. Nothing to worry about, guys. It's just the first loss after a long time. Then you get the way you get walloped. You were kind of bullied against Ipswich, even though, yeah, we had a lot of the ball, but Ipswich were very comfortable not having the ball. And whenever they did have the ball, they bullied us. So I don't look at that game as, we were dominant. The stats show we were dominant. No, watch the game. There was nothing dominant about that game from us. But yet you sort of move past it and go, okay, youngish team, new manager, and you go, once again, maybe luck didn't favor us. 100% against Crystal Palace, we'll be back. That's 3 games with it. But then again, against Crystal Palace, and now you have to get to the point. How often can we keep saying luck or, we played well, but we just didn't get the victory. It's going to come. I think there has to be a point where you just say, maybe when you have 4 winless matches, it gets to a point where you have to say to yourself that maybe there is a fundamental issue here. But it can't just be always up to luck or it just didn't fall for us. Any other day we win. There has to be a deeper conversation about the whole situation here. And you've touched on a few already. Some of these players that are in the bench, what's going on? Some of the players that we have that have been inconsistent, what's happening with them? Directors building a team that every season seem to falter around this period, which then puts us in a bit of a mud. This is the 3rd season under the new ownership. We should be well and truly, as some of you guys said, I said in the beginning of the season, look, 5th or 6th maybe, and then we can push on from next season. But the winning streak kind of gave us the feeling that, this team is serious. But now here we are again, holding on by a thread for the top 4 position. So, so many different issues that's happening. And it's made me think, what is our goal? With this ownership, with the directors, what do we want to see as a fan base? We want to see our team compete down the track, yeah? Younes, you'd agree, Matisse, you'd agree, Javon, you'd agree that at least by next season, no more dilly-dallying around top 4 and maybe win a cup. Start going for the big stuff now, right? Let's start going for the Premier League title. Now, if that is the ambition and if that's the target for next season, start, are we there yet, boys?
Nowhere near.
Where are we at? Where's the manager at? Where's the players at? Where's the subs at? Where's the directors at? We are asking for a lot next season, Mm-hmm. And have we done the homework to be there? That's what I'm trying to say, that I don't know if it's all about luck or, we're just missing out on games. There's bigger issues. There's larger issues that needs to be talked about deeply. And I feel like that's where I'm at the moment.
Yeah, I'll come to you, Younes. If outside, also let me know what you're taking from that match, but also are you taking anything from the recruitment over the summer, the recruitment potentially in January? Where do you sit on that? Because I always said at the start of this season, this season is purely down to the directors, whether it's good or whether it's bad. It's going to them. Mm-hmm. They'll get the credit 100%. And they'll get the responsibility. And where are you right now?
Exactly that, because the ambition should be clear. And after this amount of time, this amount spent, the money that's spent in the couple of years that we've had, it's enough to be able to get yourself to a level where you can start competing. This is why I say, if you've got the tools and the resources, there's no excuse. Realistically, if we really wanted to, this could have been done sooner, right? In terms of getting ourselves to a position where we're competing for the Premier League. Realistically, if things are done properly, we should actually be in a title race this season. But we're not, and we've seen what's happened. And this is why I think we all come to the agreement. And I think many people, even the most patient, have gone, okay, let's be realistic then. Let's put however we're feeling aside. Let's get Champions League football. And then next season we must. Yeah. And the way that we are right now, if you take this squad and the way that it is, with what's starting to show, You take that into next season with Champions League football, we ain't surviving. In terms of actually competing in the Premier League at a good standard and trying to fight for the title, trying to be in that race, and actually playing Champions League to a good level and getting results. This squad's not capable of doing that. No chance. In the Conference League, yeah, no problem. And that rotation helps. But that amount of rotation that we've done in the Conference League, you can't do that in the Champions League. We all know that.
No chance.
Let's not be stupid here. You can't do that. You're going to be playing your best basically every 3 days or every week
Especially Younes with this new format of the Champions League. The new format, you play more better games.
Exactly. So you do need a large enough squad, which is what other teams are facing the issue of right now, City, Arsenal included. But you need quality as part of that squad. You can't have just real subpar players that are there, that are not at a level. Talk about players like Dewsbury Hall. That's not cutting it in the Champions League. No way. No way. So the recruitment, 100%. I'm not pinning anything major on Maresca. I said this at the start of the season. Whatever happens, even if it went left with him, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. You know, I had no expectation of this guy when he came in. None. And he's exceeded in quite a few areas for me. We are seeing some issues now, and it's about whether he's going to get that over the line. But at the same time, trusting what we've got, the players that are at our disposal, there's naivety, the quality or lack of it in many areas, the chances that we are missing, or when we're not playing well altogether, like the Ipswich game. I mean, that was just poor overall. The game that went by pretty much stresses in terms of what quality we actually need to compete. We had tons of chances. We can all agree, yeah? We're not clinical. But we had one shot on target. How does that work? Quality. The quality is poor in terms of actually executing. The execution is poor. But the issues that are starting to come into fruition now, there's some of it. I'm not actually surprised. You know, whether this couple of players are unhappy, or the lack of quality is starting to show, or the lack or the naivety is starting to show with one of the youngest squads in the Premier League. All of these points, I'm not really surprised, but it's not the time for it to be showing up, because we should be at a level where we're
leveling up. We should be leveling up.
But I hope it doesn't turn into a situation where it starts going into freefall. I really hope it doesn't, because I agree with what Matisse said. This goes into the end of the season. Whatever happens, it's upstairs that will be responsible this time. Completely. The directors, the recruitment, the ownership, the direction. That's if it works, we get top 4, we get our aims, credit to them. If we don't, we have failed. Simple as that. So...
Javon, what about you, brother? I know you are not sitting there thinking top 4 secure from speaking to you previously. What's the consequence of not making top 4 for you? Apart from financially, which would be terrible for the club, without doubt.
That too.
Honestly, a consequence of not making top 4 for us. I don't have any power to do anything, but I want to see some repercussions for the sporting directors. But honestly, I'm not here to echo what anybody else says. I'm more so on to the point where, cool, the sporting directors have done what they've done so far, but having seen what transpired over the course of the season and what has been happening to us the last 4 games, at this point, in this juncture of the sporting director's tenure, their biggest fault, surprisingly, is the defense. That's their biggest fault. Because, let's look at it. The biggest issue we've had this season is we cannot see out games, right? And even when we do win games, notice we always concede a goal, barring a clean sheet here and there. You know what that says to me? We're a goal-scoring team, and we're just going to outscore the opposition. And if we're outscoring the opposition, that says to me you can't see the game, which then says to me you have a defensive issue, right? And I know we'll get into it, so I don't want to rush it. But these January links to these defenders are not helping either, because I don't think the two that we're linked to are going to help. So I'm saying all this to say this. We're in a phase now where if we do want to compete for the Premier League, or if we do want to be one of the top clubs, I genuinely think the biggest thing we have to fix is our defense. We do not have an elite defender or someone to be elite. All our defenders at this current moment are very subpar, because during the course of a season, you're going to have games where everyone's up there is off of it, but you still get a goal. You cannot be up 1-0. 9 minutes left to play. And we have no faith in high hell, in blue hell, in whatever hell you're saying to me. And I know you guys feel the same way. We're not going to see out this 1-0, you know. We cannot be up 1-0 in the 81st minute or 2-0. And you know it's not going to be a clean sheet. You know Maresca can't look on the bench and tell Mikel to warm up. We don't have that type of person to come in and try to, bind us to give us defensive solidity to see out the game.
Shut up shop, basically. Shut up shop.
Exactly. Whether we don't have anyone on the field to say, you know what, boys, calm down. We're going to control the game. We're going to see out the game. Or the Maresca can look on the bench to make a sub. I was calling for Maresca, make a sub, do something to kind of see the game over the line. But is there someone in our squad that we can rely on to bring in that has some form of nous to see the game over the line? I was calling for Reece James. People tell me he wasn't fit. So on, whatever. All I'm saying is, at this current moment in time, for us to compete at the highest level, we need to sort out our issues defensively, because in turns that fixes both keeping clean sheets, and most importantly, when the attackers are not on it, when the midfielders are just scraping to either get over the line, whether because of fitness issues or whether because of just being tired or whether we're just being outplayed, we need to sort out the defense. And I wholeheartedly believe in that, because we can always come back a goal, and we can't come back games. That's another problem. So that's where I'm at. I don't know if you guys agree.
I agree.
I mean,
I agree.
There's two ways to take this. There's the transfers, and then there's the analysis that we was looking at Coell before the stream. Sorry. Let's start with Coell. Javon, what did you spot in that game that's red flags for you in terms of Levi Coell?
I want to say this politically, but I don't know how to put it in words, but I'm going to just say it how it is and then explain after the fact. At times over the course of the season, when I go back and look and run exactly what you're saying in the Crystal Palace game, he seems a bit lazy or a bit non-committed. He gets, for the Crystal Palace goal, he dives in on Mateta and they spin him. And I'm like, cool, you can get spun. But during that phase of play, the ball goes out to Eze, right? These are, what I'm about to explain are some of the key differences in you forcing someone to make a play and them just doing what they want, right? It's very similar to when he kept Martinelli onside. So the ball goes out to Eze. Instead of Levi Coell going to the man at the back post, he leaves Josh Achiempong in a space where he's between the two attackers, where Josh Achiempong cannot commit to either side, which then leaves Eze by himself to do whatever he wants. No, I'm not saying this could have definitely stopped the goal, but what I'm saying is it takes the decision out of Eze's hands. He has less options. So if you say, oh, cool, I got spun, let me follow the man and not the ball. If he follows Mateta, because if you look at the play, Coell is on the wrong side of Mateta, so Coell was never going to do anything, because if he had done something, that would have resulted in a foul. All Coell had to do was make a darting run towards Mateta to close out that passing option and force Eze to shoot. I'd rather Eze shoot and give Robert Sanchez a 50-50 save. Who knows? The way how Sanchez has been playing this season with his shot stopping may have saved the goal, may not. But what that does is it leaves Achiempong in a weird space where he cannot commit to someone. And if he had made that darting run, Achiempong then commits to Eze, and then Eze would have either had to take a shot Acheampong would have gotten there, deflection or a save. Simple. Instead, what he does, he stops just beyond the D, throws his hand up and complains. He's susceptible to keeping. He was susceptible to keeping Martinelli on side. Did something similar in the Spurs game. Did something similar in the Fulham game. Not me hating on Coell. This is just me noticing this in this young player's development. And while a young player is developing, you typically need a senior defender alongside him to kind of usher these things out of his game. We saw it in the Liverpool game when Trent is having a howler. What does Van Dijk do? Yell, shout, demonstrate, telling people to come back, dragging people back, showing people where you should be. But we don't have that. We don't have that type of defender that's there. You understand? And
he was fuming.
He was fuming. And another indictment on that, you're playing beside a player that's making his debut at defense. What kind of signal is that sending to Acheampong? That screams to me, oh, bro, you're out there. You just got to know how to defend because I'm not going to help you. And people in the comment section, just let me know if I'm reading too much into it, but I genuinely think Coell should have done better and should have set an example as the senior defender or the senior centre-back in that situation.
So it's my thing on it is that in the first half, I thought Coell and Caicedo did very well to look after Acheampong. There was a lot of times where I felt Acheampong was shielded or protected. Crosses were cut out before they got to him. Duels were won before they got to him. They looked after him. That lapse of concentration is costly and it's poor. I agree with you. Same with Palmer not scanning when he was receiving the ball. That's costly as well. But my overarching thing is, am I gonna? We could penalise young centre backs. We saw Christensen at this club. We could penalise Palmer, young player. But like you said, the solution is who are you paired with? Mm-hmm. Why are you paired with an 18-year-old and told at 21 you have to be the leader? Because the 26 and 27-year-olds on the bench are not capable of leading the backline, which is what they were brought in to do. And they're not good enough to handle the responsibility and play in the positions that are needed, whether it's wide centre-back or middle centre-back or whatever have you will. So with Coell, it's a mistake, it's an error, it's costly. I think the game should have been won at half-time. I don't think we should have even been in a position where that one goal does cost us. But like you said, we keep conceding these goals anyway. Even if we are 3-0 up, we always concede a goal. But the defence, the centre-back partnerships make defences. And the partnership is not balanced. It's just not. You can't have a guy that's made 50 Premier League appearances at 21 leading your centre-back pairing. That's the guy that's secondary. We've got a bunch of secondary defenders that need to be led. And we've got no leaders. Mm-hmm. And that comes back to, again, recruitment. Because they've got the centre-back purchases very wrong. The only one that I'm not really bothered about is Tosin because he was free and I know we'll flip him. And he was always a squad player. I was under no illusions he was going to be week in, week out. But he's become week in, week out because Fofana's injury prone. Because Disasi, who was purchased for decent money, isn't good enough. Because Badiashil's injured and he's been poor for the money we purchased as well. So I'm not trying to make excuses for Coell. I'm just trying to put some perspective on what did we expect from a 21-year-old centre-back. Because I remember when Christensen used to get a whole heap of heat and people used to be like, oh, he's not good enough. I'm like, I saw Rudiger making mistakes at 24, 25 when he came into the club, let alone 21. Yeah. So there are some outliers in Salibas and you know, in certain, but most of the time, centre-backs do not peak at 21 or 20. And yeah, that's kind of where I sit on it. I think, yeah.
Can I add to that? What you just said, Matisse, that what was the expectation? Look, I can't speak on anyone else here. My expectation on Levi Coell was very high. Now, you may say, well, Miz, that's a bit, you know, unnecessary. That's a bit, you know, unfair. He's so young. But I thought he was, sure, young, but one of the best of his age bracket. Now, I'm not saying just because I had high expectation of him that he's not allowed to make a mistake. What Javon just said is not just the one game. You look at multiple games this season. Even when we were winning games, Levi Coell has been culpable of mistakes throughout. Now, I'm okay if I'm holding you off a level where I think you're one of the best in your age group. I expect you to have predominantly solid games. Yes, one or two odd games here and there we can disregard. But if I'm asking each and every one of you guys right now, what's Levi Coell's best defensive attribute? A lot of you guys will say his passing ability, and that's not even defending. Like,
welcome to 2025.
Is Levi Coell great 1v1? I don't think so. Is Levi Coell great out wide? I don't think so. We've seen him get cooked many times out wide. Is Levi Coell an aerial monster? Not really. He's okay, but he's not really an aerial monster. Is he a defensive leader that screams and guards the line? Come on, guys, hold the line here, fall back. No, I never see him really command the back line like that. So what's he good at? Passes, diagonal passes. So, look, this issue isn't just on Levi Coell. As you've mentioned, Javon's mentioned, Matisse and Younes, you all have mentioned. A large part of it is recruitment. You've assembled a bunch of defenders. If we name through, even Wesley Fofana, who we are missing right now, let's not pretend as if Wesley Fofana wasn't making mistakes. Come on.
It was erratic. It was very erratic.
Let's not be like, our losing streak only started happening when we lost Wesley Fofana. Please. Watch Wesley Fofana and how erratic, as Javon said, how erratic Wesley Fofana was as well. On every game, he was making mistakes. So, Wesley Fofana, Badiashile, Tosin, the less we talk about Desasi, better, and Levi Coell. Like, they're all not bosses. They're all, as you've said once again, Matisse, sort of mid-level.
Subpar, bro. Subpar, that's a word.
Subpar, and maybe
Secondary.
one or two could down the track could be. So that's one part, recruitment. Maresca as well, I have to say, as an Italian manager, I did expect him to tighten up the defense as one of the first things he would do. Make us difficult to be beat. Do you know what I mean? We shouldn't be conceding goals so easily. How often do we go into the match thinking, we're going to concede. We don't keep clean sheets. We're just going to concede, right? I thought Enzo Maresca would... you see teams like Everton and Brentford and whoever else, like they keep clean sheets for fun. And you go, how? Their defenders shouldn't be of the same level as our defenders. So it comes down to structure. It comes down to instruction. It comes down to how you organize and what your game plan is on the ball and off the ball, how you're going to defend and whatnot. And obviously the third one is individual players. So look, this is why I get to the situation that it's not a coincidence that we've not won in the last 4 games, It's not. Look the way Liam Delap has bullied our defenders. Delap himself is a kid bullying senior players. Our director should be looking at that game thinking, bloody hell, that's not on, man. That's bad on me. I sack myself right now. You know what? I sack myself right now. How could I allow that? How could I allow that? I assembled those defenders to get bullied by a 19-year-old or 20-year-old, 21 or whatever it is, in his first season in pro level. And that's Liam Delap. What are we going to do when we face Isak again down the track? Like proper. Haaland is back again, and we've got Man City. Like as Matisse said in the Big Six, we missed out on the Man City boat, They might be back. They might be back. We missed out. I wish we played them in that torrid time.
It's not title contending City, but is City good enough to beat Chelsea City?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so look, I agree with Javon, man. Defense is the biggest issue. It was the issue even when we were winning games. Even when we were winning games, it was the issue back then as well. So, and now, obviously, we're going to talk about Chalobah and Guéhi.
So, sorry, I know Younes about to jump in, but I just want to do this again. The best defenders, so against Palace, you're starting 2 Cobham under 23s. They both didn't cost a penny. We know Reece James is better than Gusto defensively. Your midfield signings were Dewsbury Hall and recall Cassidy. No 6. Younes, take it away. So I'm just saying, because I just want to make it clear. I'm not trusting these men to fix this. We're gonna get into the targets in a minute, but I'm just laying it all out. How much more money do you need?
It's a very interesting point. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
No, I'm not. There's no 6 in the squad. Sorry, Caicedo.
The track record, realistically, the track record does raise doubt as to, can we even trust? Like, okay, we know we need, but can I trust you to be the guy to go and get it? You know, like, I'm going to send you to the shop to get milk. You come back with toothpaste. Like,
that's so random.
And then Robert will be like, what? You don't use toothpaste? That's not the point. You don't drink it?
You know what? I know this is weird.
You don't brush your teeth?
I know this is a weird analogy. You know that Peter Griffin episode when Lois sends him to the shop and he keeps repeating what he's supposed to buy, and by the time he gets there, it's completely
It's exactly that. So no, I get it completely, and you're not wrong. But we are in a situation where this can't hold it. Like, we do need to actually go and reinforce. We have to. There's no choice. But would we do that right? With this whole defensive situation, look, Levi Coell is a big example of this. This just tells us exactly where we are, right? Levi Coell, we shouldn't be in a position to expect Levi Coell, with what he's done so far up until this point, what he's still got to do and what he's still got to develop on. We are relying on him like he's some sort of senior with, ready to mentor all the kids. Like, realistically, there are no mentors in this team at all. And if you want young players to develop, we're talking about a certain time frame, right? This is the way that I see it. We're talking about a certain time frame. This season, next season, we must, right? But we're also relying on quite a lot of young players to pick everything up, just like that. If we have the tools and resources, which we do, and we evidently have shown that we do, we should be ready to go out and pay for the mentorship that a lot of these young players need. Or if you are going to get young players out, you need to balance it with players that can set an example. We should realistically have a situation where Levi Coell has someone next to him that he can look up to. He's not ready to be that guy, I follow my leads. He's not there yet. We all know that. But he should have someone next to him that in the face of adversity, if something were to go down, he knows exactly what to do. He knows exactly what to instruct. He knows exactly how to handle things. And then Coell learns and he picks that up. And then when the time comes to pass the baton over, fantastic. We'll have a leader in Levi Coell who's had tons of mentorship, tons of experience, can actually handle situations, and we didn't pay a penny for him because he came from Cobham. That's, I think, how we should be thinking in terms of balance, but we ain't got any of that balance. So we have a timeline because we must, financially, in terms of what we've spent, in terms of the time that we've wasted, all of this, but we still haven't really set ourselves up to get ourselves to that level in the first place. This is key. So going into the window, if we were to make Champions League football, this is what I'm saying, we're not ready. We're not ready. But are we actually going to go out and get what we need? This is an issue. To get these young players with the quality that a lot of them have, right? To expect them to get to a level that we need them to be at by next season without any mentorship whatsoever, realistically, these guys, to get the experience they need to get to that level, it's still going to take a few years. There's no way. If you're going to get them to do it on their own, you have to wait until they hit 26, 27. That's like 5-6 years away for a lot of these lads.
Check this watch.
Yeah. Every fan base has their weakness, right? Some fan bases' weakness is they're too loyal and emotional when it comes to players. They're not ruthless enough. Some is delusion. Ours is transfer dopamine. We all knew what we needed going into the summer. Striker, goalkeeper, spine. Soon as them Fabrizio tweets start loading, start pumping out, all them little different swaps and deals and Gallagher's and all, everybody gets all distracted. Next thing you know, 7-9 players come through the door. Pure youngsters as well.
Yeah.
Dewsbury Hall, I'm seeing threads. Oh, well, if you just put him in this left half space channel and these passes, it's almost like De Bruyne, it's KDH instead of KDB. No one can stay focused. The directors can't stay focused. I'm not even going to blame, fans, because fans are never going to be focused. You know what I mean? It's just fandom at the end of the day. But that is what keeps happening every single window. Do a little, you get a lot. We do a lot, we get a little. That is what it is. Sorry, Javon. That's what it is.
I wanted to make a really important point that's going to tie everything together as to what we said today. Remember when we won the Champions League in 2021 with that dross attack we had? Wasn't it kind of, if you really analyze it, our defenders came of age at that time. Rudiger stopped making mistakes. Yeah. We had the best defensive run in the Champions League for years from any team.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Rudiger came of age. Christensen came of age. We know what Thiago Silva was always going to bring. And I think I'm missing one other, but I can't remember the name. And Aspi. Right?
Christensen as well.
Yeah. It literally got to a point where we lost one of our defenders in the Champions League final, and I'm sitting there chilling. No, Christensen's been playing perfectly all season. We just can't play with 4 at the back, so we had to use what someone had to hold the bench. And remember, we invested in Christensen's development from early, so until he came of age, we were never going to get anything out of him to that note of what we got from him that season. So all of that, if you want a visual example at this club of what we're talking about, where we're not necessarily going to compete at the top level unless, like Mati says, and Younes says, and Miss says, these defenders come of age and you don't go out and buy it, we're looking at a situation where we have to wait until they come of age for us to compete on a high level. Otherwise, from that, we just have to go out and purchase to bring into our club. And that doesn't necessarily mean buying 4 new defenders. No, you take some of the good from the bad. You buy one experienced defender, say Coell, your secondary, and maybe get an experience right back because your shame is injury issue. And then maybe a goalkeeper, and then cool, solution.
The other thing that I wanted to add into this whole piece is that match days are just one 90-minute game. What do these players do mostly? Train, right? Training is what they do a lot more than playing the real game on the weekend. Do you guys remember back in the days, like our glory days, the players that we used to have, they used to say training sessions were harder than the game.
Always.
Why?
Yeah.
Because John Terry is coming up against Didier Drogba. Didier Drogba is coming up against John Terry. Ashley Cole is coming up against top-notch attackers. Top-notch attackers are coming up against Ashley Cole, so on and so forth. Nicholas Jackson is coming up against Desasi. Tosin is coming up against Madueke. Look, I'm not trying to downplay these players. I like their quality, I do. But what I'm trying to get to here is it's not the same level anymore. How will these, we are saying they're subpar players, how are they going to lift their levels if they're playing against subpar players?
Agreed.
Like, how am I meant to lift if people around me are same level as me?
Hey, you're cooking.
Facts, bro.
Like, I was just thinking, and this is what I'm like, we have to think deeper about all of these things, man. Like these directors cannot be looking at this squad and go, yeah, all of a sudden, magically, everyone's going to turn into a superstar. Enzo Fernandez, for example, goes to Argentina in international break, and he's amongst absolute superstars over there. Do you know what I mean? And then he comes to Chelsea Football Club, and he's got Keenan Dewsbury Hall to bounce off of. He's got maybe Renato Vega to bounce off of. Casadei. Like, the levels are not leveling here.
Another player that's not trusted to come off the bench.
Yeah.
Renato Vega.
How are we then expecting them? Oh, you must.
Oh, we don't expect them to. You must. We just have to say you must because of
Because
the
that's what we
conscious. Because we have a
There's a club.
self-conscious. Because we have a conscience, which is it's ridiculously incredible to spend what we've spent and to have as many players as we have and not say you must. It's embarrassing to say any less than
we've
that.
had.
Yeah, and the time. It's embarrassing to say less. We've had to take our Chelsea hat on, pardon the pun, Javon. We've had to take it off and be calmer over the years and get involved in these projects and these, time frames. And because before, we would just, you got 6 months, fucker.
Yeah.
You got 6 months. You better bring me that Champions League in August. Because if you don't, if I don't see the big ears by December, you're out of here, brother. And that's not even when the final is. Now we've had to change, but we ain't gonna get toxically, or we ain't gonna go too far the other way because we know what that looks like, and we know that if we go too far the other way, these lot will take the piss. These lot have already shown last summer, and they're showing it now in their transfer targets. They will take the piss. I'll tell you why we're interested in Mark Guehi. We're not interested in Mark Guehi because Enzo Maresca loves Mark Guehi, just like he loves you, just like he loves Josh, just like he loves Kieran. He loves everyone. He loves everyone. He's a little whore.
Probably even us.
We
love too much. Love too much. Gal Claude.
We are interested in Mark Guehi for two reasons. His contract is expiring in 2026, which means he has a year left in his contract in the summer. And guess who has a sell-on clause?
20%,
Chelsea.
baby.
20%. So whatever we pay, we get 20% back because it's our money. That's
basically
the deal.
a 20% discount.
We get
Basically,
20% discount.
Yeah.
20% discount on the defender that we're going for. Now, is he the profile that we need? In my opinion, no, he's not. And this is how you know I ain't got no Cobham bias. Because I regret letting go of Lewis Hall. Well, I don't really regret losing Gallagher. Because I think we have Andre Santos who couldn't be better than Gallagher. I think we have other players that, Caicedo's. But do I think we need Mark Guehi, who's not getting 70% plus aerial duel success rate? Who isn't really a top defender to come into this team and level up the squad, level up the back line? No. He makes errors this season as well. He's good on the ball, but he's not dominating. He's not putting fear into Van Dijk's, Gabriel's, Konate's, Saliba's.
Nope.
So what are we doing here? What do I need? What do I need another defender? That's secondary. That's not prioritizing. That's not prioritizing points. That's just prioritizing the finances. Chalobah. I'm not excited about Chalobah come back. Everybody, get Chalobah. I'm not excited about Chalobah come back because I know Chalobah's not the level that we need. Just because he's better than Disasi doesn't mean that's the level we need. Doesn't mean that's... Now, Chalobah is free. So if we recall him, cool. But how embarrassing is it to banish someone, exile someone from the squad and say you are not part of the plan? You wore the armband last season sometimes. You got us into European places at the end of the season, but you are banished. You are banished. And then what, with your tail in between your legs, 6 months later, you're coming back in for them whilst Glasner is telling you, you have Tosin on the bench, you have Disasi on the bench, you have Argentine Aaron coming back from South America. Yeah. You just gave a debut to Josh Acheampong. What's wrong? Why you need 5 defenders for?
He literally said, do you need 8?
How many defenders do you need?
He said, do you need 8?
Bro.
Why are you coming back for this guy for? You said he was banished.
Bro, you didn't even let him go on preseason. The audacity of this club to be even linked with him.
I'm saying this now. I hope he rejects us.
I can't believe he hasn't. Apparently, he's willing to entertain this.
He's silly.
I'm actually baffled.
He's a fool.
This guy, as you've said, bro, he was one of our better defenders right at the end of last season. Do we all agree? He was one of our better defenders. Yeah? Mm-hmm. This season, from the get-go, as once again Matisse said, he had the armband, and then all of a sudden, this guy has been stripped off. You're not going to preseason tour, this, that, the other. You're not even going to train in the first team facilities. You're banished.
And no move was made.
He's a very good squad player. But if he comes back here, he's telling me as well that he's thinking with his heart, not his head.
Yeah, you're also, you don't have any self-respect. You don't have any self-respect, bro. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah,
He just loves the club. He loves the club too much.
I saw one thing yesterday. One thing yesterday apparently was that it's not necessarily about coming back just because he wants to just make it at Chelsea. Like he's got good relationships with a lot of people in the team and all of that, and for them and for the sake of his boyhood club and whatnot. But he's not happy apparently with what went down, and he hasn't just gone, yeah, okay, I'll come back. Like and this is the thing, I'd feel disrespected completely if it were me. I've said this yesterday. If I was in this position, I'd be like, am I an idiot?
Yeah, you know what I would do?
And I support this club. I'm a fan, but I'm also not a dickhead. I'm putting the two middle fingers up immediately.
But if it was me, I'd be playing that Thanos famous line. You know when he said, "You run from it, you dread from it." I comes back just the same.
No, honestly,
but
Chalobah,
the disrespect was unacceptable. If I was him, it was completely disrespectful.
Honestly, he's getting game time there at Palace. He's one of the better defenders over there. Glasner seems to rate you, playing you. You want to come back because we're in trouble. Yeah, what happens when Wesley Fofana's fit? And he's causing trouble as well, by the way, Wesley Fofana online trying to beef with the manager. So what happens when he's fit? What happens when Buddy Shield's fit? All of a sudden, again, Enzo Maresca is having to go to press conference saying, yeah, Chalobah's not part of the plans.
Well, banished again.
He was about a month ago. What happened? So don't be stupid, Chalobah. Look, same as what Matisa said, I think Chalobah is probably better than a lot of our defenders right now. But that's probably saying something against our current mob. That's not really a compliment towards Chalobah. Chalobah is still not the levels, but he is better than what we have. But once again, this ownership, the directors, the way they've moved, it's utter incompetence, man. It's utter incompetence. The fact that Chalobah is even a conversation, how can I, whatever little bit of faith we might have built up this season with these for these directors and the owners, once again, it's on the ground. Like, you've gone back to a player that you've literally slapped him silly. Like, you've gone back to him. This is what you've now put your hand up. There's rumors that we're looking to sell DSRC as well. You've literally accepted that your purchases of DSRC and whoever else, and there's been rumors about Badishil in recent times, gone back to going to Serie A.
Drew's going on loan apparently.
Yeah. Renato Vega is one player that you brought in this window, and Napoli is interested in him. Like, he can't see any Premier League minutes, so you've accepted that you've made an error. You have.
Dewsbury Hall and Felix, 70 plus million combined, did not contribute this season more than Gallagher did as of yet. This is the facts. What do you can't believe this is the facts?
Yeah. And our new owners should be all over stats that Matisse has just thrown. I thought they were all about stats and stats driven. Well,
and I'm not even bothered about Gallagher leaving, but I'm not gonna stand here and lie. It's the facts. Whether I like Felix or not is irrelevant. The manager doesn't trust him. Correct. I'm getting ahead of myself because I should really stay on the defense right now. But Renato Vega, are you trusted to come off the bench? You used to play midfield for Basel. Why can't you come on for a jaded midfield in the last 15 minutes and come shore things up with your 6 foot plus self? You too young? You too inexperienced? Okay, no problem. But at some point, the penny's got to drop because you're spending large amounts of money on players that aren't ready, also prioritizing agent relationships with João Mendes, which is why some of these players are here in the first place. And on top of that, you're having PSR problems. Then those signings are consequently not putting us in the Champions League, which is where we get the money from because the stadium ain't getting expanded. The sponsorship still ain't on the front of our shirt. That Jordan deal ain't done. So everybody was getting excited about.
Not done.
Of course, listen. If that was easy, Roman would have got it done. But if you want that front of shirt sponsorship, you can't drop into fifth. Hold on, we were negotiating when you were in second. We thought this was going to happen. You were Champions League sorted. Now you're in fifth or fourth. Hold on a second. Let's slow down there, buddy. You getting a bit too happy on the numbers. Let's run that shit back. I'm not signing anything just yet until you qualify for that Champions League, because that's extra TV revenue. Am I gonna pay the same money when you in Kazakhstan with Matisse in that clothing, or I'm gonna pay the same money when you go in San Siro? Which one? No. Calm down. I want TNT 1, not 3. Or calm down. So it all adds up, and I just think there has to be some sort of accountability for the amount of money spent. I've used this analogy before, but if you give me $1 billion and I come back to you with a Ferrari and a 6-bed mansion, we can say that's a lovely car and a lovely house. But I gave you $1 billion. Where's the rest of the money? Where's the rest of the shit? Where's the assets? Where's the yacht? Where's the plane? Where's the jet? What's going on? So, I think with that defense, man, Mark Gurhey as your link, I don't know. That's a massive red flag to me. 60 million. Well, I don't know how much it's going to cost, because we're going to get a discount anyway. But I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing there.
People need to ask themselves a very basic question whenever they, any rumor. Like as we've mentioned here, the transfer dopamine hits hard. Anyone knew that we get linked to? I was so excited. And on top of that, Mark Gee being our academy product, and now England international. A lot of people say, how can you disrespect his England international, man? He's England international. I just have to say one question to you guys. Do you really believe Mark Gee is the one? Because it's not about now. It's about where we want to be. Right? And ask yourself the question, where do we want to be? We want to be competing for the Premier League, and we want to be competing at the highest level in the Champions League, consistently semi-finals, finals. Right? You think Mark Gee is your guy?
Can I ask you guys a question? So with that being said, miss, and I'm genuinely asking this because I don't know, is people in the comment section, please answer as well. Is Mark Gahey good enough to get us into top 4 this season?
Yeah, but that's
okay.
But then when he signs this 8-year contract,
I don't think so. I don't know.
No.
I don't think so.
Let me finish. All right. So Miz says no. Mati says yes. Younes, is he good enough?
Top 4?
To get us into top 4 this season.
Top 4, yeah. I'd say yeah.
Because here's the thing, I'm thinking back to when he had the good performances to England. What I'm saying is, if you do go ahead and sign Mark Gurhey, then that means in the summer you have to ship people like Disasi, Tosin, even though he just came here, Badiashile. You have to ship the excessive defenders that are just not good enough and bring in someone a level higher than Mark Gahey, and then turn Gahey into that backup squad player. Because Matisse is going to complain about bringing in more players. I kind of don't care as long as you're shipping out players. If you can hold your hand up, I got this one wrong, but I'm going to ship him off and not keep him in the squad. And then at that point, I can see what you're saying. Bring in someone better to take us to our next level.
I know I can't trust him.
I can't trust him.
I
can't trust them to do what you just said. Mark Gurhey's going to come in and they're going to think this is their guy. They did it with Jackson. Jackson is their guy. Sanchez is their guy. They do this all the time. Mark Gurhey's 24 years old. He's an England international. He averages about 50 to 55% on aerial duels in the last 3 seasons. He's been playing more on the left side of defense in that Palace team than the right. And we're bringing him in to play on the right. Yeah. All of these things are in my head. It's not adding up. They are not going to be in a financial position to buy Mark Gurhey for whatever it's going to cost, which is minimum 50 million upfront this summer, and then go into the window in the summer and go and purchase again. And I have to trust that they're going to get rid of Badiashile and Disasi and Tosin and find people that are going to get the book value. And no way am I taking that risk. You're signing one defender. You signed the defender we need. You signed the only defender that we need, which is the pinnacle. I know, and I'm even saying this now. You go and get a defender that ticks every single box, aerially, pace, 100%, leadership, 100%. Organization, positioning. And I'll tell you something. Some of these centre-backs that we don't think are good enough, they'll be okay with that guy. they'll actually do a decent job. You actually might be able to get through next season challenging and on all fronts. If you've got that, I'm telling you, that one top defender makes the world of difference.
It does.
That top defender makes the other defenders look better than they are. We're thinking that they're at a level where they're not good enough, which is fine. Some of them, I agree with you. Some of them, if they had the right guy next to them, they would be better.
Badia Shield sticks out because when you was partnered with Diego Silva, it was way better.
I haven't given up on Badia Shield. I just don't want Badia Shield next to Disasi. But if you give Badia Shield, Coell, Fofana, the guy, not Gurhi, not another bit of money wasted, the guy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Orojo from Barcelona. I don't know. I'm not a scout, but we all know what the guy looks like when they come in. That I'm telling you, 3-4 these defenders, they're better. We've done this before under Lampard. No one can defend. Rudiger can't defend. Even Maresca, well, like you said earlier, Miz. Maresca's also almost doing a Lampard because you don't really think about the defense. He said, it's not a priority. Tuchel comes in, defense. Everybody looks better. So Maresca's got to prioritize the defense as well. He's got to see these goals going in and say, this is a big, big thing for me. I need to make this right. I need to fix this. Those two things, those two elements there changes everything. But my problem with the plan is if I could trust them to bring in Mark Gurhi and then say, because Mark Gurhi's better than some of our centre-backs. I agree. I think he's better suited to the way we play. I agree. But I don't trust them to get him in and then get another one in and then, nah. I can't trust them, man. I can't.
This is the point. to get Mark Gurhi, and I said this yesterday, I reckon if they were to get Mark Gurhi, that's it. That's their guy. I completely agree, right? They're not going to get Mark Gurhi for that much money and then in the summer go and get a top defender, right? To then get rid of all the players that Matisse just mentioned who they brought in the first place. Like, you got all of these guys in, you're now going to ship all of them off. So what are we doing? This is the point. This is why the trust is an issue here. Like, you got these guys in. We're now going to go and get other players, but you're going to ship all of these lot who were meant to be the guys we're keeping, but we're getting rid of them, and now we're going to go and get another bunch of players. Who's to say you're doing the right thing now? Because clearly you didn't do the right thing before, unless if we're only thinking financially. Are we just thinking about a little quick buck here and there and a bit of profit? On a business level, yeah, it makes complete sense on a business level to do that sort of thing. But respectfully, business is one thing, but there's football here. Football has become a business, but football at its core is a sport, and it's about winning and losing. But you don't neglect both sides of the spectrum. You have to have balance. If we are going to get Mark Gurhi, you best believe that's it. That's the one we're going to rely on. And I agree. Is Mark Gurhi a defender that's going to take us to winning the title, competing at that level? With that money, and then maybe a little bit added on, we can do better. I'd
actually rather give Josh Achimpong more minutes and see if he can develop into something serious than signing players that I know are not good enough. And also, we keep getting into situations every summer where we have too much to do. We keep putting too much on our plate. We need to get rid of 7 players. We need to bring in 7 players. We need to do 7 loans. Every summer we go into, we have to do too much because we keep bringing in too many youngsters and they all need homes. And that takes attention and time away from deals that have to get done or have to be given priority or have to be given time. That goalkeeper position, that saves us 10, 15 points. Give it time. That striker position to support Jackson so he's not on his own. If he was to get injured, even worse, give that time. You need to put time into that. That's not something that you could just rush. But we are always scrambling to do. Look at deadline day. Look at the last week of the transfer window. Sterling, Sancho, everybody's moving. So that's got to stop. It's got to stop. 2 free bodies in, 2 free bodies out. Done. Disasi, he doesn't fit in your system at all. Badia Shield, I know can play left side centre back. I know he can defend aerially. I got something I can work with. I still haven't given up. Crazy as it sounds, but I need to trust some of these guys. They're not all leaving. Tosin, he's a backup centre-back. Maybe he I don't know. He was free anyway. You can get 15, 10 million out of him. I don't really care. But Disasi, I can't be asked anymore. But you got to, at some point you've got to lessen your workload. And quality, not quantity, and attention to detail is key. And the attention to detail right now is not there. It's all PSR, it's all George Mendes, it's all Felix for Gallagher's, it's all Dewsbury Halls for Goodings, it's all bullshit. And Gurhey's another bit, I'm afraid, of BS. They don't really want him for the right reasons. Your intentions are not good. Your intentions for wanting him are purely financial. Nothing to do with actually fixing this defense. Nothing to do with that.
And then also the fact that Chalobah's there so that you could potentially sell Chalobah to them.
Yep.
You get further discount on top of the discount.
Yep.
What I don't understand from these ownership and the directors, well, I kind of understand it, but at the same time I don't, is why is this sort of feeling, this negative feeling towards anyone above 25? Like, I know, okay, Tosin's 26, but why? Are they not footballers anymore? Like, once you are 26, 27, 28, are you not a footballer? Are you a grandfather at that age? Like,
it's an investment thing, bro. It's an investment.
You can't give 27-year-olds.
That's the part I get. But what I don't get is from the footballing side. I get that. This is why I said I get and I don't get, because I get from the business point of view, it's an investment and you want to flip money and you want to be able to hold value for that player. But from a footballing standpoint, you can't stack up all of these kids over. We're getting to a point, and we've already seen it. David Datra Fofana had to leave. Chasser Cassidy's having to leave. We're bringing in kids where previous kids are having to go because they're still kids. And we're bringing in more kids to get rid of more kids.
We didn't even develop Cassidy if he leaves.
I honestly think like one of the best defenders in the Premier League right now, you'd say Virgil van Dijk. Let's just say, right? Virgil van Dijk is one of the best Premier League defenders. Let's just say for argument's sake, if he was to be free right now and he wants to come to Chelsea, for argument's sake, I don't think our owners would get him, you know.
Salah.
He's too old.
Same with Salah.
Yeah. They would not look at the upside of him that he, as Younes has said, he'd bring mentorship. He'd be a defensive leader. He'd teach all these kids how to become the next big thing. They would not look at all of that.
Wages as well. That's the thing.
You can look at players, right, and have an idea of what would they sell for in the future. You can do that. Don't get me wrong. It's not eliminate that completely. You have to, though, get 2 or 3 players that you're prepared in your head that they might retire at your club.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to. It's like when we got out and when we went and got, for example, Fabregas or Costa
Like on a free.
that window, or you go and get like quality. You know they're staying. Kante comes. Kante's not going anywhere. You know that we're not. He's not here for an investment. In fact, you know the investment with him is the football that he'll bring.
Yeah,
that's the investment.
Trophies.
Yeah, he'll bring us success.
The trophies. Yeah.
That's you have to have 2 or 3 players as your spine that you're prepared to go the distance with. They're not going, they're not leaving at any means. Like, because we're that sure they're going to bring a value that is priceless and that will help us. The problem is that if you notice, every single piece of business, whether we're linked with someone or whether we do the deal, there's always a financial element. You
100%.
can't succeed like that. You can't.
Here's
You
the
need
thing
to
I don't
have
understand.
that line, which we're still trying to build. It's insane.
Here's the thing I don't understand, right? Because even on a financial aspect, it still affects it. Because let's say you wanted to, who can I use? Let's say you wanted to flip a Coell, just for example, right? Do they know that bringing in an experienced defender beside him who can teach him some of the intangibles and can teach him when to step out, when to step in, eventually that increases Coell's value because he becomes a better player for you in the long run.
Yeah.
Because the better your team is performing, the more expensive the players in your team are. And the more experience these players get, the more money they're going to garner. So even if you're looking at the money side of things to flip them in the future, it still goes a long way. And even if you're not looking at the money side and you want some of these players to retire at your club, it's better when they have a mentor to learn from so that they can develop at a steadier rate. For them to get, for you to get the best out of them, which in turns benefit your club. And I don't need to go into the examples of how it will benefit your club, but
do you know what's going to happen? I don't know whether we're actually going to bring in any defenders. I don't know. You know what's going to happen? You know the kid that we got from Boca Juniors. He's going to eventually be told to us that, oh, wait a minute, we brought him back because he is your new defender. he ain't going to play now. We're going to adapt him. We're going to get him used to the country. And that's another defender. But see, look, as talented as he may be, once again, a 19-year-old.
You don't want to see his aerial deals.
Like, we're going to ask a 19-year-old to, go on, lad, get us top 4. Secure top 4 for us.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
We will never score from a corner again in the Premier League.
Look at all the set pieces we get, Matisse, bro. Do we look like we're going to score? Every match we have minimum 6-7 corners, bro.
And they can't pass the first man.
Because as much as the open play shit at the weekend annoys me, we don't score from corners ever. The only time we score from corners is in the Conference League when Badiashile and Disasi are playing against Noah's Ark, where our best aerial defenders are playing against the shittest defenders we'll ever play against in our lives.
There's a stat out there.
Casual footballers.
There's a stat
They
out
play
there.
football as a side gig. Their main gig is being an accountant or an engineer, or what they just happen
One of them
to just
worked at Burger King.
Boys, there's a stat out there that Disasi has 2 goals and 2 assists for us this season in the Premier League. He's the only one who scored from a corner for us in the Premier League.
Yep.
And I can't play him because
You can't play him.
Can't play him. I love that about him. That's the only thing I like about him is that he can score from corners and he's dominant aerially. I don't even need to check. I know if I go on Disasi's aerial duel success rate, it's always minimum high 60s, low 70s. Guaranteed.
He's a unit.
Because he's
like
a
I said,
unit.
he should be a doorman. No one's
But
getting
the problem is he's slow as heck.
Exactly.
He's too
And
slow.
his IQ is dumb as fuck.
I was
But don't
not
worry about
expecting
being
that.
slow.
Watch
There's a lot-
Lenny from My
And
Cement.
this is another problem.
There's a lot of slow players, but they're
Another problem.
smart. They know how to read the game and they're there. But this guy's dumb as fuck, bro. He's so dumb.
There's a lot of mental capacity issues in this squad overall. But again, the young players, I can't blame them. Like I said, there's no one to lead. But there are players where they're technically, they're just, there's some players that they play with their feet, and there's some players that play with their brain. I hope that makes sense, right? There's some players you can just see, like they're thinking about everything and they're executing. It's their brain, it's not their feet. But there's some people that just kick a ball. They just kick. It's just
There's no
whatever
brain.
happens there. There's no brain. It's just I'm just gonna screw it. Let's run. Let's go left. let's just pass. So I shoot from here. Fuck it, let's shoot. Like there's some players that do that. We have a lot of players that are not at the mental level where they're thinking. It's Cole Palmer thinks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Enzo Fernandez thinks.
Enzo Fernandez thinks.
Moses Caicedo thinks. You can tell when they have the ball, they're thinking, they're analyzing.
Exactly. They can read, and they can execute. They know what they have to do before maybe the ball's even at their feet.
Agreed.
We should have that as a standard. And we ain't got that. And Disasi is a big example. You're
and closely followed by Disasi's Sanchez. He don't think as a goalkeeper.
Bro,
That's why I want
me.
Andre Santos to come back, because he'd actually be another thinker in the team.
He's a thinker.
But I can confirm, according to Simon, he's not coming back in the January window. Chelsea are not considering bringing back Andre Santos. It will more likely be Leslie Okuchukwu, according to Simon Johnson.
So we're just going to struggle in the midfield. All right, cool.
We need Lavia. We need Lavia to be fit. And if something happens to Lavia, we're finished.
We're finished. We're done.
Do you know what I don't understand is the other thing that I don't... There's a lot of things that I don't understand. We've got Bournemouth next, right? In the Premier League. Forget about Morecambe. We should be beating them anyway. We've got Bournemouth in the Premier League. Bournemouth are unbeaten in 8, by the way. They're unbeaten in their last 8 games. How is a manager like... What's his name? Areola? Is that his name? Areola? Or whatever his name is. Bournemouth manager. Areola. How's he got this Bournemouth team week in, week out? I've actually been watching some of the Bournemouth matches. But it doesn't matter whether it's us or another mid-table team. They play the same intensity, same level of concentration, and they've got some really, really decent type of players. Their budget, compared to some of the better teams, is mind-blowing. Like what they're doing. How's he got them running the show there now, and us with better quality can't seem to get that level of consistency on a regular basis? And even when we were winning, as we've mentioned, we still had major flaws. How's Bournemouth? Bournemouth should have beaten us the time we played them earlier this season. They should have clear-cut beaten us. Clear-cut.
I remember Sanchez was on a madness that day.
Yeah. So that's the opposition we're facing next. Mm-hmm. Coming off a 4-match winless situation, coming up against a team that is not without a loss in 8, unbeaten in 8. And a team that works hard so much.
Listen,
how are we not there? Like, I don't get it. Like, how's Nottingham Forest ahead? How's this happening? We should be ahead of Nottingham Forest.
I tell you how, defensively, Nottingham Forest is solid.
Rock solid.
I tell you, that's how they're gotten there.
Solid.
Yeah.
So, and you know what that is? When Nottingham Forest isn't firing, they can still see out a clean sheet.
Correct.
That's how they are above us.
Correct.
Right?
And they are firing, to be fair.
And they're firing now. 3-0 yesterday.
They've scored 10 less goals than us. But
exactly.
They've conceded
10 less goals. But 4 points ahead, right, Matisse? 10 less goals and 4 points ahead.
But that stat says it all. That stat says it all. When our attack is not firing, we don't pick up points.
We don't pick up points.
We don't pick up enough points. When our attack is firing...
Javon, Nottingham Forest a 6-match winning streak in the Premier League. They don't have Conference League matches in between to boost that winning streak up, like the way we had Conference League wins in between to boost that up, right? Nottingham Forest are on a 6-match Premier League winning streak.
And I guarantee you, if you go back and look at that 6-match winning streak, there's some games where they just see out the game. There's some games where it's a 2-1 or a 2-0 and they just see out the game. 1-0, they just see out the game. And that's the biggest difference between us. For me, I'm taking Milinkovic. I'm taking Milinkovic from Nottingham Forest, in my opinion. Come at me all you want. I don't care. He's a brilliant defender.
Solid.
Brilliant defender.
Solid. Really good, yeah.
But here's the thing. You see, if we start firing again on all cylinders up front, people are not selfish. People are passing when they should pass. People are scoring when they should score. All of this kind of gets swept under the rug. And that's what I don't want. I want to address these defensive issues so we don't have to worry about it. Because I was explaining this to someone. Not only does it hurt us seeing out games, it puts added pressure on the attack, which causes selfishness. Because instead of a man saying, you know what, I'm going to lay the pass out because he's in a better position. No, let me take a shot because one of us has to score. We have to get a second goal, or we have to score, or else we're not winning this game, or we're definitely going to lose this game because of our defensive frailties. So fix the defense, man. Fix the defense, and we're halfway there. Fix the defense, and we could be top of the table.
Lads, we want to be competing for the Premier League next season, no? Yeah? That we all agree? Even I said, even though my expectation was 5th to 6th, but I said next year we need to build on that and go. So regardless, whether we want 4th or 5th, 6th, whatever the case is, next season all of us can agree we want to compete for the Premier League. Mm-hmm. But one of the biggest traits of competing for the Premier League is you got to concede the least amount possible. Your defense has got to... I think it was who was it that said... I think many people have said this. Defenses win you titles.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
We've
been there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, defenses win you titles. Goals may win you the matches, but defenses win you titles. Are we there? Are we there?
Yeah. We were never going to go into this season and just score goals and outscore every single opposition.
No chance.
It was never going to happen.
Not with the ball strikers we have as well. It's not like we have like pure ball strikers that are just lacing shots in, like they can't stop banging them in bottom corners, picking out top corners. We ain't got shooters like that. In fact, our best shooter, and we're going to move to the attack here, one of our best shooters maybe is leaving the club, in Christopher Nkunku. And it's sad. I don't care as much as I should. And it's purely because of, I don't think mentally he's with us. So the talent is not really as relevant now because he's not of the level of player where it's like you can afford to mentally check out and still drop 9 out of 10s. You're not that guy. Unless you're in, you got to be out, you know? Because I still think he had something to offer at this club. I still think if he was playing off the forward and Palmer was cutting in and we had that overlapper on the right, on the fullback, and we had a striker up there to compete with Jackson, I still think he was chipping in with goals. I still think he was contributing. I still think he was doing the link play. I don't know. I still think he was getting into the box and getting those little free headers and, you know, but his confidence is so flawed. Yeah. People are like, they think he's dead. He's not dead food. Trust me. If he goes to PSG, we'll see something. We'll definitely see something. But that doesn't mean I want to keep him because I don't think he's going to make it here now. I think his time here is looking like it's done because the environment is fucked. It's like the way the attack's being built is just he can't get in the position he needs to get into. It's not going to happen for him.
Do you know what the problem has happened with Nkunku is that Maresca has made a conscious decision that Palmer is going to be the number 10. He's the out-and-out number 10, right?
Yeah.
Which then screws up Nkunku. Well, you can't now play just behind the striker anymore. Now, your only position is up front. And what Maresca wants from the player up front is you got to be a dog. You got to run. You got to press. You got to cut off those passing lanes. You got to be an absolute animal. Nkunku's not that.
No.
Nkunku's simply not that.
No.
So, you know, yes, we can shift Palmer out to the right, have Nkunku just behind Jackson. But then one of Palmer or Nkunku has got to be a dog. You can't have two players that are, I'm not saying that Palmer doesn't work out. Palmer does work out, but Palmer's workload would have to be tripled then. He'd have to run up and down and track back and cover those wide areas because Nkunku is not going to be able to do all of that. You can have maybe one luxury player. You can't have multiple luxury players. The Premier League is too ruthless for that. Once again, directors. But this one maybe not completely on directors because Nkunku was done during Bowley era when Bowley was the madman.
Still on directors because you still have to. You can't. Still on directors because you cannot know that this player is here. Know that once he's at fully fitness, he can bring some form of level and don't attribute your squad to that. I'm not saying build a squad around an injury-prone player. I'm just saying build a squad to accommodate him when he's fully fit because he's of the level that we could get him. At Leipzig, free kicks, goals galore, competing for the golden boot, and he's not playing as an out-and-out striker. You get what I'm saying? So
100%. But look what the directors did. They go, do you know what? Yeah, let's try and give him a good environment by bringing in Felix as well. Another 10.
Yeah.
You could possibly say, okay, no Felix, then Nkunku starts getting a little bit more minutes, maybe off the bench, rotational player. They can try. But now there's too many.
Yeah. And if it clicks, then you say, okay, you know what, Palmer, play wide just to get the best players into the squad. But we'll never see it. We'll never see it.
So now I agree. He's clocked out. Like Nkunku probably thinks I'm too good enough for Conference League. I'm not doing my balloon celebration in Kazakhstan. That's an embarrassment. I think that's what happened, right? One of the players said to him, do the balloon celebration. He goes, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's for Stamford Bridge. That's in the Premier League. I'm not doing that in Conference League. I'm not doing no balloon.
We don't do that here. We don't do that here.
Because I remember when he scored that goal against Bournemouth, his celebration was saying, I'm the guy, play me over Jackson. And then he scored a hat-trick in the Conference League the very next game, got no minutes in the notable minutes in the Premier League. It's not like he performs and Maresca gives him time. This
is the thing with Nkunku though. When he said that him and Jackson were going for the same position, I said, that's bullshit, bro. Because They're the complete opposite in terms of intensity off the ball. Nkunku's carrying 2 years worth of injuries. He can't press like Jackson. I'm not talking about Osimhen, who's aerially dominant and presses and channels, but he's different to Jackson on the link up. No, that's fine. They can compete. But Nkunku, someone is literally trying to get over injuries, is going to press from the front and lead the nah.
Especially in the January window, when he knows the window's open, he ain't pressing no one. He's looking after his
Can't play out wide.
He's pressing the button to leave.
Can't play out wide and track that fullback up and down.
No.
Nope, that ain't going to work. That's going to kill him and break him as well. The only position for him was right in the middle with
luxury
a good
player.
base.
Luxury player.
Yeah, base behind him, wingers, striker, complete coverage, and he ain't going to get it. So, man.
And do you know what? Just to sort of cap this striker situation, now I'm pretty certain he's going to go, because I'd be shocked if Nkunku's not gone by the end of this window, because it makes sense for all parties, right?
PSG, yeah.
But then we are stuck with, in the second half of the season, because I don't think we're going to bring in a striker, right? We're stuck with Jackson up front and the backup being Mark Guiu, relying on a kid again from the bench if Jackson doesn't click to do the business for us. Relying on a kid.
What if Jackson gets injured?
Relying on a kid.
Striker. Joao Felix striker.
You're promoted.
I can't do this Joao Felix up front thing.
Listen, I'm going to make a video and I'm going to send it to you as to why it will work.
Mikel made that same point about what if Jackson gets injured. I saw him mention about when Drogba was at the club, and we did constantly keep signing the odd striker here and there. Yeah. And Roman did mention, if something happens to you, what are we going to do? Like, we do need someone else that can fill in just in case. So we've got Shevchenko, we got Torres, we got Anelka, but Drogba was always the guy. It's a good example because anything can happen. It's true. But we ain't got anyone. After that much money spent and this time gone, it's embarrassing to be in this situation at the moment. And Nkunku, who was the first signing, right, that we got technically under this ownership, right, he's come in and decent player overall. If we're talking just a player, right, has played at a Champions League level, is technically sound. We now know his, let's say, bad points in terms of what we actually need. But this should be base. If we're looking at Premier League football in England, physicality is the number one trait, I think, that you need to have in order to sustain yourself in the league, let alone technique and all of that. If you've got it, fantastic, and you should. But this is a non-negotiable. If not, you ain't going to survive here. Simple as that. But Nkunku, with time, we're now looking, he's not moving, or he's not giving enough, or he's not pressing hard enough, or he's not dropping deep in order to try and initiate something. He's not making the physical effort. Realistically, all that should have been known, no? Like in advance, if we're going to be going after a player of that sort of caliber. Again, recruitment. It's
he's a Christopher Vavell signing, I believe.
Yeah, but
him and Madueke, is it?
Yeah, but at the time, remember, it's not like we had the system we had now. At the time, it was on the pot and the whole other thing. And then you bring in Maresca, and then we see where Maresca's strong points in his system are. So the minute they didn't say, you know what, Nkunku's here, let me actually take it as a factor as how I'm going to develop the squad and who I'm going to bring in, it was always going to be a downhill, looking back at it now.
I don't know, man. With that attack, I think this season, I can't really say that I'm massively shocked. I think Sancho's put up decent numbers. He had a great assist. Palmer, I can't even think to even put anything on him apart from just thank you for being one of the players that I think was capable of being in title running. But the responsibility, the lack of other people stepping up to the plate, I mean, that has weighed on him. And people will say, oh, well, Palmer, he didn't do this right, or he did this wrong. Or how long did you want him to carry the attack for? The whole season. Like,
to be
where's
flawless.
Neto's goals? Where's Sancho's goals? Where's Madueke's goals? Where's Mudryk or Sample B? Where are you? Where's Nkunku? Where's Felix? Where's the goals from the rest of them? That's what I'm looking at. Where's the goals from the rest of you? Why is Cole Palmer having another pretty average performance and coming away with a goal again? Where's the rest of you in front of goal? Jackson, where's your shooting gone? So the last person I'm looking at is Palmer. I saw people losing their heads at Palmer over the weekend. I was like, are you mad?
I agree. Yeah.
Do you know where we would be if we didn't have Cole Palmer? Let this man pick up a knock and find out what this team's about. You're going to find out fast.
Nkunku, there's your chance.
Fuck me.
Right,
it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
You're right, bro. It's not good enough. It's not good enough because, again, I hate to hold on this point, but again, we have two of our best wingers are creative wingers, and we don't have a striker that's clinical enough to get these goals. So what do you think is going to happen? Yes, when the entire attack is clicking, we're going to score goals. But when you look at it, it's always going to be shared around between Palmer, Jackson, and maybe Madueke if he's there. Neto doesn't shoot enough for me. Sancho. I like Sancho. I like what he gives you. But I like
Sancho, yeah. It's just it's annoying when you don't have goals in the team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like 6 assists and not 3 goals. You can't complain. But at the same time, you need more goals in order to get. If we're not going to get the defensive stability, we need goals to get us over the line. And then over the last 4 games, we're creating chances and we're missing chances, but also the chances that we're quote unquote taking, it's not necessarily clear-cut chances. We're seeing people shoot when they shouldn't shoot. We're seeing people not shoot when they should shoot. And we're seeing people shoot from outside of the back. When brother allow it. You do not have that long-range shot. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
You know, free kicks. I cannot say,
abysmal free kicks, man.
Abysmal. I cannot put my hand on my heart and say, you know what? This is a goal. No. So all of these little things has to be addressed in terms of the personnel in the summer, in my opinion.
We said this last summer. I just can't trust this lot anymore, man. We said this last summer. Even with Palmer, I said he didn't have the best of game. Who created all of our big chances? Like most of them. Free kick, Palmer, balling behind for Jackson. I think he left that game with like 5 key passes. He should have left with 2 assists and a goal. Imagine 3 GA and he wasn't even at his best.
There's no way we can go after Cole Palmer. Yeah, he may not have the best game, but he's still too important. Way too important.
Can I ask you guys a question? Given the last 4 games, right? In my emotional state after the game, I said, seeing these Jackson misses kind of makes me feel like he undoes the good work he does earlier in the season. What I meant by that is, please just continue what you've been doing, but you kind of dropped off. Does the conversation around Jackson now change from a competing striker to someone that's just better than him as to what we need in the striking department?
I don't know if I can answer that until the end of the season, because if he comes back again and starts banging it in, say he's on 9 now and he ends with 17, I can't really say that. Like, I think the main issue with Jackson is we're not getting enough goals from other areas, so we need even more from Jackson. And also we don't have anyone competing with him, at least to say, Jackson, you're playing poorly, get out of here and sit on the bench. I don't look at Jackson and say like it depends on the way he ends. If he doesn't score again, then I think it's a different conversation, do you know what I mean? But it depends on how many goals he ends on. He's not clinical. But I've seen Chelsea strikers that haven't really had a clinical nature, but they still rack up goals. Like when you look at supporting cast, you look at Giroud, he wasn't clinical. He didn't score loads of Premier League goals in any season, but he was useful. He was still of a help. He was still contributing to success. I think Jackson can definitely contribute to success and winning things. I think he's got the mindset. I think he's got the self-belief, the confidence, the hunger, the determination, all of these things, the attributes in outside the box. But we need a ball striker now. Yeah, dare I say it, we do need like a Duran or at least someone that can shoot. Obviously, I would like someone that's done more dirt in the game and racked up season after season, but that's not going to happen. So I'm not even thinking about that anymore. But we do need someone to come in and supplement because he's under immense pressure, so much pressure. He's under more pressure than any striker really has been because most Chelsea strikers have got one or two strikers with them sharing the workload. Like you just mentioned, Drogba and Elka, Diego Costa, Loic Remy. We could start Loic Remy for 2-3 games if we had to. He's a good finisher. Torres, and so many strikers. Gudjonsson, Hasselbank. Like, when have we ever had a season where we've got one striker? What is that? Why have we only got one striker? We're in 4 competitions.
But that's the thing, bro. It's not necessarily about Jackson's misses, but the effect with the squad that we have. Again, it still goes back to the 2 creative wingers. At this point, we need to have the personnel to facilitate for those wingers, because at that point, you're saying to me, okay, Jackson's still going to be our number 1. We're just going to get a substitute striker if need be. Then that means that would mean we have to adjust the wingers then. We're going to need some goal-scoring wingers then, if that's the case. Versus if we get another position, I guess what I'm trying to say, the simplest fix is to get one player versus to get 2 players.
I agree with you. Same with the defense. Easier to get 1 than get 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So there's still the spine again this summer. The centre back and a striker. If you're going to get someone that politically kills Jackson can maybe play in other areas. He can come on and play in the front 2. He can drift to the left. At the end of the day, I just want a Premier League trophy.
Honestly.
I just want a Premier League trophy, bro. Just do what you must do at this point. If it's an Isak, shoot me. I don't care, bro. At this point, I need help for Jackson.
Can you imagine Isak's and Neto's crosses, boys? Damn.
We honestly need a striker that is going to score on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Jackson hasn't scored now in what, 3 or 4?
4. He hasn't scored over this 4 game run.
He hasn't scored in 4, minimum 4.
Mm-hmm. See, you can't have a striker that, especially for Chelsea Football Club, I don't know about other clubs, right? But top clubs, you can't have a striker that goes missing for 4 games. That's too many.
He's missed.
And he's missed.
This is the problem,
right?
Yeah.
He's missed, right? It's not like we didn't create for him.
If he was quiet, he's quiet, but he wasn't quiet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can maybe have 1 game where chances were created, it didn't go for you, no problems. You can have 2 games, no problems. That's the max at this level at Chelsea. But the 3rd and the 4th, you come back strong. You go, do you know what? All that nonsense that happened in the last 2 games, gone. I'm back. But now it's gone to the 3rd game and the 4th game. And as Javon said, it kind of undoes. Is that a word, undoes?
Undoes.
Like, it undoes some of the work that you did initially in the season. Because of the lack of goals, we're now dropping below. We're just holding on to 4th.
But did we ever expect Jackson not to go through a bad patch of form? Did he ever show that he was clinical enough, like a Harry Kane, that he would do that all season? Is he of the age? Again, I say this again. Is he of the age of a striker that is in their prime to say week in, week out, bang, bang, bang?
All of that is mute. All of that is mute. All of that for me is mute because of the volume of chances we create for him. Do you get what I'm saying? It's different if the chance creation dropped a bit. I'm sorry, Younes, go ahead.
No, you're right. True. But should Jackson have had that expectation at the beginning? Like, you're the number 1 striker. I don't think he was ever ready.
No.
Let's call it back. He was never ready. As a second, this is why when we signed him, do you remember? Like, we were still like, are we gonna go and get like a striker? Like, are we gonna go and get,
like, this Villarreal?
We got this Jackson lad, cool. But is anyone else coming through the door? Why? Because as a supporting striker, it goes back to that same point of maybe someone to show him the ropes, show him the ways, and then later on maybe he develops into that sort of guy. Cool, but like right now to come in and be the leading man at Chelsea. And it's not just that. He's had chances, absolutely. And this goes to the point. He's had some sitters. But it's also elements of it. We go back to that point about players that are able to use their brains and players are able they just try and just execute whatever they feel like they're going to execute. There are times where Jackson, he makes some mistakes, loses the ball at times. It's like, how have you done that? Like just basic ball control or basic touch. We had this problem with Lukaku of all players as well. Like, where's your touch, brother? Like the basic things about players that are able to use their brains and they have that ability to know exactly what they're going to do, stress-free. Jackson's not there. Can he get there? Well, he needs someone. He can't do it by himself like this and be expected to perform. And when you do give him those chances and he doesn't put it away, I'm not shocked overall. I'm not surprised. But he's not. No, I'm surprised. Like you should be. But was he that guy in the first place?
Yeah.
Like I don't think he was. But he is. The reality is he is missing those chances. Right? It can't fly. We do need to convert those. If not, we're not going to get results.
Maybe I'm delusional, but the way it was on the track record going into the season, Younes called for him to score, he would score. I'm saying Jackson score, he score. I'm like, you're becoming that guy. We found the solution, and then this happened, and then I'm like, damn, it's pump fake.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, that comes from a place of hope. That all comes from a place of we want to see our team do well. We all want to see our players do really well and succeed, and we all want to see them perform. And when that sort of thing happens, it comes from. Palmer doesn't come from a place of hope. Right? Palmer, you just know. Like Caicedo now, you just know. Even Enzo's starting to get into that sort of element. But with Jackson, it comes from a please do it. Oh my God, please do it, please. You know, and you're just praying at that point.
Yeah, it's not about confidence. You're hoping. Yeah,
completely. At the same time, I don't want to put everything in Matisse's right in saying this. The wingers need to be performing too. We have to address that too. Like Neto's not getting goals or assists. You know, it's not enough in terms of Sancho. There's bits that are absolutely cool. And it shouldn't be, one or the other. There should be contribution across. But this is why I'm saying that the issues that are showing are multifaceted. As much as Jackson is missing 100%, that's a problem. There are other lingering issues too. Mm-hmm. And this is why it's not a surprise to see like the results that we're going for at the moment. Now, it's not so much of a shock.
100%. We've already touched on all the other issues as well, and there's more. But just quickly on the Jackson point, it's not even someone that I'm saying that we need in our football club. But for example, Chris Wood of Nottingham Forest, have a look at the games he's played in the Premier League and how consistent he's been. I would find it very, very shocking if he's gone without scoring for 4 games.
Checking that now, actually.
Isak didn't score in his first 6 games, and Watkins has only scored 1 in his last 6 as well. But
you know who gave Isak his first goal?
Us.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I remember Isak was on a dry spell, and everybody was like, "What's going on with Isak? He's not playing very well." But Chris Wood. Let's see. Yeah, you might be right, Miz. 3 game gap there, 2 game. Yeah, he's never gone 4 games without a goal.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, generally strikers, you just
and when he hasn't,
going.
I'm sorry, just to help your point, when he hasn't scored, guess who scores? Elanga.
Do you want another funny stat?
Yeah.
Do you want another funny stat for you?
Yeah.
He's only got 1. Actually, I tell a lie. I don't think he scored any goals in the first half. All of his goals seem to be in the second half.
Important goals.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
bro,
so that means you're right. Important goals.
All of his goals are in the second half, it seems.
Yeah. This is the thing. I need Jackson. Well, there's so much that we want from Jackson, and as Younes just said, are we expecting too much from a player who's potentially may not even be a striker?
Actually, no, that's incorrect.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he may not actually be an out-and-out striker. He's maybe another one of those second striker or wide type of player. I think Enzo Maresca's trying his best to making him into a striker, but which strikers out there aerially are not good? Tell me how many strikers out there that are not good aerially.
Yeah.
If you're a striker, headers are one of your key threats.
Yep, I agree. Should be.
You need to be a monster in the box with headers and leaping over defenders and what I mean, like scoring goals.
You see the example of Giroud that was mentioned, right? He was never the main guy, but when he did come in, I mean, the consistency was there. He'd give you a finish when you needed it most. He'd give you a header if it had to be done. He'd give you an acrobatic kick if it had to be done. He would twist in between 3 and 4 in the box and slot it away. But he was never the main guy.
Proper striker. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's still putting up low numbers, but yeah. Big moments.
Of course.
Yeah.
But he was the perfect supporting role. The squad lacks that. And then we rely on Jackson, who's not ready. Who's not at a level to lead.
Younes, remember when we had Giroud?
Yeah.
Remember when we had Giroud?
Yeah.
Such a nice secondary act. Like, he was good for us. We don't have a Giroud, bro.
No.
And young strikers could learn from Giroud. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But there is also, I feel like there's a bit of a misconception. There's some people, and I think, I don't know if Mikel maybe is being he's trying to be nice. Because I feel like we all know how he deeply feels. But there's people that go, okay, no, Jackson needs support. I disagree. Jackson is the support. Jackson needs someone better than him.
Yes.
And then maybe in future, Jackson can become the guy. But it's not the other way around. If not, we're not going anywhere. That's my problem. So
when I was looking at his box movement, the lack of times he gets in front of his man to connect with a cutback, and he's very easy to pick up. He's not good in the air. I don't disagree with you. I think he's one of those players that, unfortunately, I don't even know if you can teach being clinical.
You know,
I don't know if you can teach that kind of ball striking ability.
I don't think you can.
That's my worry.
Yes.
When I was watching Aguero at 18 at Atletico, that brother could strike a football. Yeah. Like,
look at John Duran, bro. Look at John Duran.
Yeah, like, you're either striking it like that or you're not. And I can't stand, as much as I like him, I can't stand there and say that someone that strikes the ball like him should be leading the line for Chelsea Football Club for the next 10 years. There's just no way. Like, I need a pure ball striker. Like Carlos Tevez at West Ham. Oof. You could see he could strike a football. Yeah. You know what I mean? Loads of other examples. So I like him. And I mean, we could never even consider getting rid of him because we don't even have more than one striker. But yeah, I'm definitely open to someone who could strike a ball. That's for sure.
Question, is Jackson inbox positional play an issue? Because I'm trying to remember, and I can't remember a time where he's on the end of a cutback.
Yeah,
he's never end of a cutback. He's never
always someone else.
He's always either running with the defenders. He's not pulling his run to sort of cut back, stay, so the cutback comes in. He's always running with the defenders. He's running on with them. Mm-hmm. So he's hoping for a ball fizzed in so he can tap in. But this is the thing, like, he doesn't have that IQ to hold the run. The cutback comes, it's a nice shot. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Okay. And it's easy.
So maybe inbox positional awareness is another issue with Jackson that needs to develop as well.
I think that can be taught. Yeah. I think that should be able to be coached.
I can.
We need Lampard as a coach, bro.
But yeah, but this is what happens when you bring in loads of young players. I can't stay. This is why I go against it. I say you need balance. You need someone that is able to lead from the front, because when you bring in this many young players, I can't be then surprised that this many young players need to learn a lot and need a lot to develop and need a lot of lessons. And they're learning in real time. That's why they're young. Unless they're elite level young players, your Mbappe's at Monaco, this is what you get. Mm-hmm. So I can't cuss Jackson. I can't cuss Levi Colwell. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna cuss the people that put them in a position where they don't have any support, they don't have any leaders, they don't have any help, they don't have anybody to teach them. The manager's young. Everybody's young. And I like the manager. I'm nowhere. I've seen people saying that they're losing it with Maresca. I'm not losing it at all. He haven't even crossed my... Now, obviously, I'm criticizing him in my reviews because he's, not this last game, but the games before, he's taking the mick. But it hasn't even crossed my mind. Hasn't even crossed my mind to hold him accountable for what's going on. Hasn't even crossed my mind. You can't spend this amount of money and still be looking at the managers that come in. That's utterly ridiculous. To see this many influx of players go in and out and this much money spent and still be looking at the manager in his first season in the Premier League who's also learning. Mm-hmm. Crazy. And you're not looking at the people that hired him? Exactly. You must be living on another planet if you're still looking at managers. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. So we'll see what happens. What is our next game? Bournemouth at home?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
The next 2 games are at home, so I think you should be picking up 6 points, in my opinion.
I don't know, bro. I don't know about Bournemouth. 3
Bournemouth are
points.
tricky.
I'm not sure.
I get the hesitation, but I don't think it's that far gone where I can't sit here and say, okay, I'm expecting 3 points. Because Maresca has shown good stuff over the season, and we're at home. So I'm saying it's 3 points is a must. Call me delusional, say what you want.
It is a must. It is a must. But,
Always a must now.
I said it last game.
3 points.
Yeah, I said it last game. I'll say it this game. It's a must. Am I overly confident? Absolutely not.
I'm
just
confident.
have to. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not confident anymore. I think I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm still
We're all
confident.
hoping. We're all
You know
Yeah,
what's mad?
I'm hoping. I'm not confident though.
Lavia will be back. Reece James is fit again. I'm confident, bro. We can't. The attack will click. Maduka will score a goal. I'll go on about this. The breakdown will be fire.
I'm hoping. Hope. I mean,
saw
we
one-
would have
I
had a
saw
lot
one
of time.
stat.
There's a lot of time in between the two Premier League games. So yeah, you're right, Javon. You'd hope that.
We play
surely-
Morecambe next, and then we play Bournemouth. Is it the weekend after, or is it midweek?
No, it's midweek.
Tuesday.
Midweek.
Tuesday,
Okay,
I think. Yeah.
No, Bournemouth. I saw normally Bournemouth at home. You'd think, right? It should be a win. I saw one stat though, and it sent me a bit left. And I don't like looking at stats overall, but I saw this one. I was like, nah, I have to take this one into consideration.
Bournemouth has done us.
No, it's not. No, not just that. Chelsea this season, the last 15 minutes of a game, we're the worst at conceding in the last 15 minutes of the game. It's either we're the worst or the second to last, I think, in terms of letting go of goals,
That is
conceding
no
in the last
surprise.
15 minutes.
I said it, bro.
do you know-
You can't see your games for shit.
Do you know which team is the best at scoring goals in the
Bournemouth.
last 15 minutes?
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
So that's why we're going to be 3-0 up. We're going to concede 2 in the 89th minute. Simultaneously.
we better.
Bournemouth.
We must.
Younes, which game
must.
was it that Bournemouth were losing 2-0 and right at the last 5 minutes they ended up winning 3-2?
That's the point. It was who was it? You're right.
It was
They're unbeaten in their
Semenyo, it
last
was
8.
Kluivert, it was all this
8?
madness that was happening in
What
that
the
game.
fuck? They're unbeaten in their last 8.
That's what I said. They're unbeaten in the last 8. Like, this is one of their best runs.
How many have they won in those 8?
Probably like
Quite a few. Quite
maybe
a
like
few.
4. It's a few draws. Maybe.
I think it was Wolves. It was 4-2.
Do they
Premier League
concede
Right
role,
goals?
man.
now in the Premier League,
Premier League's
they have
long,
a
man.
very good left back in Kirkes. They have a
that's
couple of defenders that are rated very highly in the Premier League. So defensively, they're very strong. They have a midfield that work like a dog, and they have a attacker up front that will more than you can believe will cause problems for our defense. Evan Nielsen, the way he moves around, Justin Kluivert, the way he moves around, yeah. Don't think that our defenders are just going to be looking at this and going, yeah, that's a clean sheet.
Breaking news. Nico Williams is high on Chelsea's radar via David Ornstein and The Athletic.
Yeah, let the PR begin. Lovely.
Whoa.
Fantastic.
How many times do we have to look
There
at this
it is.
motherfucker's wages and say that it's out of our wage structure? Am I stupid? Have we not done this merry dance already with this brother, this Nico Williams guy? We know his wages are astronomical. We don't pay astronomical wages. So why are we bothering with this link?
And we don't need another winger.
Well, we do if Mudryk sample B.
They're
Not.
looking at the
What's
sample
going
C now.
on with Mudryk? What's going on with Mudryk? Anybody still waiting on those results, by the way?
Where is that B sample? I'm
It's
curious.
meant to be 48 to 72 hours. They don't take long. So what's going on? Is there a cover-up?
There's a
Where's the
cover-up.
results?
For sure there's a cover-up.
Where's
There's
the
for sure.
results? Hello, Mudryk.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure the
waiting.
results came out negative, and now Bowley and Iqbali are trying to do a deal with whoever runs the tests. That come on, how much do we need to pay here?
No
to
social media
put
posts? Nothing? What's going on?
How much do we need to pay to get this under the table? We'll make sure that the player is still getting some level of
Where's Jerry Swole?
suspension, and then we move on. Do you know what I mean?
Deary me.
This test must have gone to a different planet.
He must have
trying to
pissed in.
retrieve it.
He must have pissed in a different test tube. Must be. I don't know what's going on.
Well, the word is that even if the second one does come out fine, negative, that the fact that the first one was positive, he's still going to get done. So it's not that, if this is negative, then he's sweet. He'll still get some level of punishment because the first one was positive.
But surely the test has to be close together because they can't allow it to leave your system.
No, they can't.
So what are we doing here? The second test wasn't, we'll wait for the thing to leave your system from the positive test, and then we'll test you for the negative.
No.
The test is, we're doing the two tests to make sure that the first test was correct and conclusive and the right result of what we already found out, not for anything else.
Exactly.
So this news should have already come out. We should already know the situation. I need to know if Mudryk is a Chelsea player or if he's a free agent. I need to know if he's suspended for 2 years or if he's suspended for 1. I need to know what the FA are charging. I need to know all these things because I can't look at no Nico Williams left wing, target and we've got, how many wingers we got? 6, 7? Esteval coming in the summer. How many wingers we got?
Well, we even promoted Tyreek George, no?
Bro?
Yeah.
That was all for show. Tyreek George ain't getting
He ain't
shit.
seeing nothing.
Bro.
That was a show.
That brother ain't seeing
We played
shit.
you. We played you.
For me,
Tyreek, we played you.
For me, this has nothing to do with Mudryk because I refuse to make comments on this topic until it's been finalized. So all these views are between Matisse and Miz. My issue is, have you seen Nico Williams' output this season? It is horrendous.
Horrible.
Why are we linked to someone that can't give us goals?
Nah, look.
What happened to KKK? Kurt Skelly.
Two big difference.
Look, I'm not going to go down the track where his output's been poor. Like I know the level of player I saw with Nico Williams. Like I know that.
What in the Euros?
Look at Margay in the Euros.
National tournaments give you something sometimes, brother.
No. But Spain came up against some big teams, bro. They didn't play Mickey Mouse teams. So
but do we not
if
need
I
that?
see them do that,
looking for consistency.
Yeah, but see,
Because they are fourth, by the way. He's not playing in a bad team. So I need to actually dig into this and find out why his numbers are so low. Because if they were 17th, I could hear it. But they're fourth.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Because we need
what
goals,
I'm trying to say is that when I see that level of talent and have those performances, I know you got it in you. Your heart might not be at Athletic Bilbao at the moment.
I don't like those
Maybe
type
if you
of
come
players.
to Chelsea, it could change because
I don't
different.
like those type of players.
But I go back to
your heart's not in
Matisse,
it.
you
You're being
said.
paid every single week you perform. Until
Yeah,
you're
but see,
into it.
I go back to the point what you just said, Matisse, that it's unrealistic, man. He's on good wages over there. He's not going to come here for cheap wages. Do you know what I mean?
If you wanted a big move, you keep performing so you get that big move. Not drop off because you can't be asked. And that's a terrible mentality. I don't want
What's
that.
crazy?
Oh, none of that.
This man
this whole
has
Nico
one
He
goal,
wants to
bro.
go to Barcelona anyway.
This man has one goal in 17
he wants to play with
appearances,
Jamal.
bro.
Yeah, brothers, and he's starting week in, week out. Look at his minutes played. Lord
One
heavens.
goal in 17 appearances, bro. Nah.
What's going on here?
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Barcelona and his numbers just explode. But anyway, it gets to the point we don't need that. I don't necessarily think we need that right now. There are other glaring issues. We don't need to be linked with Nico Williams to get our
It won't
blood
happen.
flows going. Do you know what I mean?
It won't
One
happen.
goal was against
There's
Las
no way
Palmas.
it happens. If it was going to happen, it would have happened. But we knew that the salary was an issue. We were seriously linked at one point, and that deal never happened. Now it's going to happen. It's again, the PR machine is in full effect now.
Yeah.
January window,
yeah.
every window, we will be getting these briefs.
Yeah.
We will.
No, 100%.
It disappoints me if people buy it
Yeah,
and really buy it. You can't buy this surely anymore. How many more times are they going to do this? These windows where they lie and they say, "Oh, we can do this, we can do that." You cannot. You cannot spend big money in this window when you don't know if you're getting Champions League football. Financially, that is irresponsible. You're not going to do it. That's why the only reason why I want is midfielder to be recalled. if you recall Chalobah and you sell Disasi, then fair enough, but you're going to probably exile Chalobah in 6 months anyway, so I don't really think that's a smart move from Trevoh. And the only purchase that I would like and need is a striker to back up Jackson, especially if Nkunku goes. Use the Nkunku money, you spend it on a striker. But apart from that, that's it. That's all you can really pray for.
And even on a short-term solution as well. This is why initially I wasn't on board with the Kolo Muani link, but I thought on a short term as a loan.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea, bro.
Yeah, like you're not working out in PSG, and Nkunku's not working out here. Let's do a deal, swap it together. Nkunku could do something there. Kolo Muani could be a short-term solution for the time being, and then we'll see what we can do in the summer. Even as a short-term solution, or else I'm telling you, lads, if we don't do certain business in January and after January, Enzo Maresca's left with Marc Guiu, Desassi, all of these. Oh, wow.
We're not getting Marc Guiu anyway. Not Marc Guiu, sorry. We're not signing Marc Guiu, I don't think, in this window. I don't see it.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to sign any players, to be honest. I think we're going to get rid of players. And then Enzo Maresca is going to be asked by the board that do a magic show again, the way you did the first half. Do it again. And we already told you, we don't have any expectation on you. We already told you that Champions League is not a must. That's been the brief, right? Enzo Maresca said repeatedly, owners have not told me anything about Champions League football. They just said develop a good team. Develop a good team. So that's what the remit will be.
Bro, I mean, the minute I saw owners did not tell me to get Champions League football, I clocked out, bro. I didn't even finish the rest of the sentiment. I don't want to hear it. Champions League is a must.
True.
You don't need to be told. You know, it's kind of like
You're the
unspoken.
same one that said this is just Chelsea Football Club. This is a big club. And if it's a big club, comes with big club standards. You don't need to be told. It is expected, brother. Champions League football. I want to see your bald head in Milan, knowing probably the night before you went to have some pizza, you probably visited some family when you're in Milan. That's what I see.
He was finished sixth last year with season-long injuries. Now this season, a couple more signings, plus some players featuring at least more in terms of their injuries. We must.
This is why in recent, the 4 winless matches we've had, I've not really liked the way Maresca has talked post-match. Like, yeah, okay, we're not in the title race and all that.
Not
I get
expected
that,
to be here stuff.
Yeah, but don't be giving me, oh, I told you so, didn't I? Like, I told you these are the flaws. I told you we're not good enough. Don't give me that bullshit after being 4 winless matches. Don't come around and tell me, I told you so, like you won something. Like, it's not like, oh, but I told you, right? No, F your told you so. But win games, mate. Let's start winning games again.
And it's the type of games he's losing too. Like if, let's say we had a run of City, Liverpool, and Arsenal and we didn't pick up points then, cool. I hear it. You told us so.
Yeah.
I hear it, but...
You told me so against Ipswich? I never knew that you told me so that we're going to struggle against Ipswich. So I don't want to hear... This is what I mean, like, the last 4 games I've been saying, I don't want to finish 90 minutes and feel that we didn't do enough. I've got no issues in losing, but we must do enough. We want to go away from the match feeling that we did everything. We didn't win.
No,
the last 4 games, it's not been like that.
Look at the teams, look at the caliber. I mean, I say, well, caliber, but the levels here, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich,
Crystal Palace.
Come on, 2 points out of 12, and that is
diabolical, bro.
And then
That's diabolical.
I like Maresca with a lot of things that he's done up until now, right? But that point you just mentioned is true. When he's talking and he's mentioning things about luck, for example, get out. Like, no, I said this, and like in football, sometimes things fall on a plate. But you got to get yourself into that right position to take advantage of it in the first place. Luck is for losers. If you're going to rely on that, it's for losers. You make your own luck. And sometimes, as a consequence of your actions and what you've done, things can happen. You put yourself in that position first. Take credit for it. So against those sort of teams, we should be able to do enough to get results. More than 2 out of 12.
Yeah. Even if it was a
100%.
struggle, you'd say, okay, 7 out of 12. You're not
7
picking up
out of
max.
12.
Like, 2 out of 12 is ridiculous. I'm sorry.
And considering that 2 out of 12 should have been minimum 6 out of 12 because we were winning 2 until the latter stages of the game.
Yeah. Fulham, as I said the last time, take a choice. Either you shut up shop at 1-0, which I know it's very difficult for us, or go all guns blazing. Go for the second. You didn't do neither, and then you lost.
This is why, against Bournemouth, we scored that first goal. I ain't celebrating.
I'm worried about Bournemouth.
Till we get the third.
Listen, if we scored the second goal,
I'm not sitting down again until we get 3 points on any of my content.
Exactly, bro.
How many have Bournemouth conceded? Can someone let me know? How many do these guys
I'm not
concede?
sitting down again.
Seven goals conceded in the last 9 games.
So
I
these
ain't
guys
sitting
don't
down
concede,
again.
you know. These guys don't concede.
And then we're going to make it 10 goals in the last 10 games, bro. We're gonna click again. I'm gonna be optimistic. We're gonna win. We're gonna be up 3-0, and then the last couple of minutes of the game, Levi Coell and a couple of the differences are gonna switch off. So
let me get this straight. So what Javon you're saying is we're gonna.
I was gonna end it on a high note, and then you killed it.
I just want to say this to myself so that I can leave this and feel all jovial again. So what you're saying is, Javon, we've not been scoring lately. We're gonna score 3 against a team that doesn't concede that many.
Yeah, man. The run has to end somewhere.
And we're going to not concede against a team that's very good in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, and you know what's going to spark this? You know what's going to spark this attacking threat? We're going to completely obliterate Markham, and then that's going to get the engines running again. So by the time the next game comes along, when the next game comes along, you know what? We're going to score 3 beautiful goals. But we are going to concede. But we're going to get over the line. We can. I feel it coming, boys. Positivity. We're still fourth. We have to chase down Nottingham Forest. And then we're going to finish. Come on, guys. Positivity. New year, new us.
Substitution.
Where's Baba when you need him, man?
Yeah, we're wrapping this up. Hopefully all right. Luckily we got a nice gap between this pod and the game, because we got the next time we'll speak will be after the Bournemouth game. We would have played Morecambe. We don't need to speak after Morecambe because Morecambe's going to be a nice dusting down, 3-4, get the confidence in and keep it stepping in the FA Cup. But after Bournemouth, we'll speak again, and hopefully, Javon, everything you've just said is correct. I pray that you are correct, that we are going to win this game. I hear you, because there is a gap. The lads should be fresher. There should be recovery. There should be more, there should be more energy in the legs. There shouldn't be the players playing against Morecambe, playing against Bournemouth. There should be a couple of returnees. James Lavia should be fit to play now. Play significant minutes. And yeah, it looks better then. I agree. So, all right, let's wrap it there before we see some breaking news or something. You don't need nothing to ruin the end of the show. Miz, let the people know where to find you, bro. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, bro. A fantastic episode. I hope everyone that's watching, you guys had just as much as fun as us. The other side of the coin, let's get to 40,000. Not that far away, so that'd be a good milestone. So yeah, do follow, subscribe. Yeah.
There you go. Younes, let the people know where to find you, bro. Pleasure.
Yeah, it has been. Much appreciated. See what happens. But good show overall. Hope everyone enjoyed. And yeah, latest in terms of today. Sure, I'll talk about Nico Williams and all of that as well. But Younes Talks Football in the lead up to Morecambe as well. The preview will be up, and then look to Bournemouth. So catch all of it there.
There it is. Javon, let the people know where to find you, bro. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Follow me on the Fellows Podcast. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Road to 1,500 and then to 2,000 and to 2,500. All that good stuff. Just dropped the latest episode of the Sideline Viewing where Robert and I go toe-to-toe. I cannot get away from people telling me how important Mudryk is to this. From Dan to Robert, I'm stuck in a time loop. But check that out and this disappeared. But yeah, check that out and just up the likes and share and leave your comments in the comment section for me.
There you go. Guys, subscribe to all the channels, links in the description. Make sure you do that. And from me, where do I go from here? I don't know. I'm going to have to do some soul searching. I don't know what the next piece of content is.
Soul searching. Bro, you know what? You and I, we're going to drop that Felix as a striker video. We're gonna debate.
I don't even know what that even is, to be honest. I know Neto's crosses ain't landing on no one's forehead anytime soon. Until next time, big up your damn selves in a bit, people. Peace.